Your journey is unique. In a world where everyone is constantly showcasing their achievements, lifestyles, and success stories on social media, it's easy to feel like you're behind. You scroll through your phone and see friends getting new jobs, traveling to exotic destinations, starting families, or buying houses, and you start to wonder if you're doing enough with your life. But here's the truth that we often forget. Your journey is unique, and it will never look exactly like anyone else's. Not from the moment you were born, your life path has been shaped by your circumstances, experiences, opportunities, and challenges. No one else has walked exactly in your shoes. No one else has faced the exact combination of struggles and victories you have. This means that comparing your progress to someone else's is like the growth of an apple tree to a sunflower. They're both beautiful, but they bloom at completely different times and in completely different ways. You know, when you constantly look at what others are doing, you risk losing sight of your own path. You start to make decisions based not on what you truly want, but on what you think will keep you caught up with everyone else. That's when life starts to feel heavy, unfulfilling, and full of pressure. The reality is that the pace of your journey doesn't have to match the pace of anyone else's. Some people hit major milestones early in life, and others achieve them later, but that doesn't make either path better or worse. Think about how nature works. In a single forest, some trees grow tall quickly, while others take years to reach their full height. Some plants bloom in spring, and others don't flower until summer. None of them are in competition. They're simply living in alignment with their natural timing. You have your own seasons of growth, and rushing them just because you feel behind will only lead to frustration. And another important thing to remember is that what you see in other people's lives is often only the highlight reel. Social media, conversations, and public appearances rarely show the struggles, failures, and challenges behind the scenes. Someone might seem far ahead of you, but you may not know what sacrifices they made, what difficulties they faced, or even if they're truly happy with the life they've built. Comparing your full story to someone else's carefully edited chapter is unfair to yourself. Now, when you start to focus on your own journey instead of someone else's, you give yourself permission to set goals that actually matter to you. Maybe you don't want the same career path as your friends. Maybe you're not ready for certain responsibilities others have. Maybe your dreams are completely different from the people around you. And that's okay, because this is your life and you're the one who has to live it. You know, it's also important to understand that your timeline is not broken just because it's different. Some of the most successful and inspiring people didn't achieve their greatest accomplishments until much later in life. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until he was in his losers. Morgan Freeman didn't get his first big acting role until he was whooshers. If they had given up just because others were ahead, the world would have missed out on their contributions. You know, focusing on your unique journey also helps you appreciate your progress more. When you stop measuring your life by someone else's milestones, you can actually see how far you've come. You can celebrate the small victories that others might overlook because they're personal to you. That sense of gratitude and self-recognition is what keeps you motivated, even when the road feels long. So instead of spending your energy trying to keep up with others, spend it creating the life you actually want. Identify your values, set goals based on what excites you, and take consistent steps forward, no matter how small they are. Progress doesn't have to be fast to be meaningful. It just has to be real, intentional, and in line with your true self. Your journey is not a race, and it's not meant to be compared to anyone else's. You are exactly where you're meant to be right now, learning the lessons you need to learn, growing at the pace that's right for you. When you fully embrace that truth, you'll stop feeling like you're behind and start realizing that you're simply on your own path, one that is entirely your own and full of potential waiting to be unlocked. Comparison wastes energy. Every day you wake up with a limited amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. That energy is your fuel. It powers your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, and your growth. But here's what most people don't realize. A huge portion of that precious fuel is wasted when you constantly compare yourself to others. It's like trying to drive to your destination with a leak in your gas tank, you redraining your resources before you even get close to where you want to be. And when you compare yourself to others, you shift your focus away from what you can control and place it on something you can't. You can't control someone else's background, opportunities, or life circumstances. You can't control the timing of their achievements or the speed of their progress. Yet, when you measure yourself against them, you're essentially trying to win a race that isn't yours to run. That's not just frustrating, it's exhausting. Think about the mental energy it takes to scroll through social media and silently compete with strangers. You see someone on vacation and you feel like your life is boring. You see a friend buying a new car and suddenly you feel like you're not earning enough. You see someone your age starting a successful business and you start doubting your own abilities. Each of these comparisons takes a little piece of your confidence and motivation. Before you know it, you've spent hours thinking about someone else's life instead of improving your own. You know, the truth is, comparison is a trap. It disguises itself as inspiration, but it often leaves you feeling drained, insecure, and discouraged. It shifts your focus from your own goals to someone else's, making it harder to take meaningful action. You end up stuck in a cycle, looking at what others are doing, feeling inadequate, and then doing less because you believe you're already behind. You know, if you redirected all the time and energy you spend comparing into something productive, imagine what you could achieve. Instead of scrolling through someone else's highlight reel, you could be learning a new skill, working on your health, or building the business you've been dreaming about. Instead of feeling bitter about someone else's success, you could be using that time to create your own. Now, it's important to remember that every person has a different starting point and a different set of challenges. You might be comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. You don't see the years of struggle, failure, and sacrifice that came before their visible success. You only see the polished version, the end product, while you are still in the messy middle of your own journey. That's why comparison is not only wasteful, but also deeply misleading. There's also a psychological cost to comparison. When you constantly measure yourself against others, you train your brain to seek validation externally rather than internally. Your sense of worth starts depending on how you stack up against someone else, instead of being based on your own growth and values. This robs you of the satisfaction that comes from genuine self-minus, improvement, and makes you feel like you're never enough. Breaking free from this habit requires a conscious shift. The first step is awareness. Catch yourself when you're comparing and remind yourself that their success doesn't diminish yours. Life is not a zero-sum game where one person's win automatically means your loss. The second step is redirection. When you notice yourself focusing on someone else's progress, deliberately turn your attention back to your own goals. Ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today to move forward? That way, you transform envy into action. Now, one of the most powerful ways to protect your energy is to practice gratitude for your own journey. When you focus on what you already have, you naturally spend less time wishing for what others have. Gratitude grounds you, reminding you that progress is personal and that growth is something you measure against your own past, not against someone else. No. At the end of the day, your energy is one of your most valuable resources. And you can either spend it building your life or draining it by obsessing over someone else's. The more you invest it into your own goals, the faster you'll see results. The more you protect it from unnecessary comparisons, the more motivated, confident, and fulfilled you'll feel. So the next time you catch yourself looking at someone else's achievements and feeling like you're behind, pause and remember this: their journey is theirs and yours is yours. Use your energy where it matters, on becoming the best version of yourself. Because the only person you truly need to compete with is the you from yesterday. Self-investment brings real results. Diallion. Today, I want to talk to you about the most important investment you will ever make. One that doesn't involve stocks, real estate, or a savings account. It's an investment that pays the highest dividends, builds unshakable confidence, and unlocks doors you never knew existed. That investment is you. Self-investment is the cornerstone of success. It's the deliberate choice to grow, learn, and push beyond your limits. Every great achiever, whether an athlete, entrepreneur, artist, or leader, understands one fundamental truth. You don't rise to the level of your hopes and dreams. You fall to the level of your preparation. And preparation begins with investing in yourself. The greatest ROI is in yourself. Think about it. If you put money into a business, you expect a return. If you plant seeds, you expect a harvest. Why then do so many people expect success without investing in their own growth? The most successful people in the world didn't get there by accident. They read books when others were scrolling. They practiced skills while others were procrastinating. They sought mentors when others were making excuses. They understood that time spent improving yourself is never wasted. It compounds. Every skill you learn, every book you read, every hour you spend refining your craft adds up. It might not show immediate results, but over time, the difference between someone who invests in themselves and someone who doesn't becomes undeniable. Discipline today, freedom tomorrow. Self-investment requires sacrifice. It means choosing the gym over the couch, a book over mindless entertainment, and hard work over instant gratification. But here's the truth: the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. When you look back 5 years from now, you won't regret the nights you spent studying, the early mornings you trained, or the times you pushed through fear. You'll regret the opportunities you missed because you weren't ready. You'll regret the chances you didn't take because you doubted yourself. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. If you want real results, you must be willing to do what others won't, so you can live how others can't. Growth is uncomfortable. Embrace it. Let me be clear, self-investment is not easy. It means facing your weaknesses, admitting what you don't know, and stepping outside your comfort zone. It means failing, learning, and trying again, but discomfort is where growth happens. The moment you choose to improve, whether it's learning a new language, mastering a skill, or building mental resilience, you separate yourself from the majority who settle for good enough. Remember, the only thing worse than starting and failing is never starting at all. Every expert was once a beginner. Every champion was once an amateur. The difference? They kept going. Your future self is counting on you. Right now, you are shaping the person you will become. The habits you build today, the knowledge you gain, the health you maintain, the relationships you nurture will determine your future. Ask yourself, what will my life look like in 5 years if I keep investing in myself? And what will it look like if I don't? The choice is yours. You can be the same person a year from now, making the same excuses, or you can look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Start now. No perfect moment exists. Some people wait for the right time to start. They say, I'll begin when things settle down. No, I'll invest in myself when I have more money, more time, more energy. No, but here's the reality. There will never be a perfect moment. Life will always be busy. There will always be distractions. The time to start is now. Even small steps matter. Read pages a day. Exercise for us as minutes. Learn one new skill each month. Over time, these small actions create massive change. Final challenge, bet on yourself. You have unlimited potential, but potential means nothing without action. The world rewards those who invest in themselves. It rewards courage, persistence, and relentless self-improvement. So I challenge you today, bet on yourself. Spend time, energy, and resources on your growth. Be the kind of person who outworks, outlearns, and outlasts the competition. Because when you invest in yourself, the results are guaranteed. You become smarter, stronger, and more capable. You build confidence that no one can take away. You create opportunities that wouldn't exist otherwise. Self-investment isn't just an option. It's the only path to real, lasting success. So go all in on yourself. So the next time you catch yourself looking at someone else's achievements and feeling like you're behind, pause and remember this. Their journey is theirs and yours is yours. Use your energy where it matters, on becoming the best version of yourself. Because the only person you truly need to compete with is the you from yesterday. Your best competition is a race you're running every single day. One that doesn't show up on any scoreboard, but it determines it's not against your colleagues, your peers, or the people you see on social media. Your greatest competition has always been and always will be you, the person you were yesterday, the person you are today, the person you have the potential to become tomorrow. That's the only race that truly matters. The myth of external competition. We live in a world that constantly tells us to compare ourselves to others, to measure our success by someone else's achievements, possessions, or accolades. But here's the truth. Chasing others is a losing game. There will always be someone smarter, faster, richer, or more accomplished. If you tie your self-worth to outperforming others, you'll never be satisfied. Even if you win, the victory will be hollow because you weren't racing toward your own potential. You were just trying to be better than someone else. No, the only person you should compete with is the person staring back at you in the mirror. You are the standard you set for yourself. Greatness isn't about being better than everyone else. It's about being better than you used to be. Did you push harder today than yesterday? No. Did you learn something new this week that you didn't know last week? Are you closer to your goals than you were a month ago? These are the questions that define real progress. Your standards determine. If you compete with yourself, you'll never lose because every day is an opportunity to improve. Sen, the battle against your weakest self. Let's be honest. The biggest obstacle standing between you and your dreams isn't other people. It's you, your doubts, your laziness, your fear of failure, your excuses. The version of you that hits snooze instead of grinding, the version of you that scrolls mindlessly instead of learning. The version of you that gives up when things get hard, that's your real competition. And the only way to win is to outwork that weaker version of yourself every single day. See progress, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than you were before. Missed a workout yesterday, get back on track today. Made a mistake at work, learn from it and improve. Fell short of a goal, adjust your plan and keep going. Success is a series of small victories over your former self. It's not about being flawless. It's about refusing to stay the same. The only validation you need when you compete with yourself, you free yourself from the need for external approval. You don't need applause, likes, or praise to know you're winning because you feel it. The pride of knowing you gave your best, the confidence that comes from overcoming challenges, the quiet satisfaction of growth that no one else sees, that's the reward of self-competition. You become your own benchmark. Look, how to win against yourself. So how do you make sure you're always moving forward? Track your progress, keep a journal, set measurable goals, and review them regularly. Embrace discomfort. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. Seek challenges, celebrate small wins. Every step forward counts. Acknowledge your progress. Stay hungry, not complacent. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you stop growing. Forgive your setbacks. Losing to yourself once doesn't mean you've lost the war. Get back up. Final challenge, be your own hero. At the end of your life, you won't be judged by how you measured up to others. You'll be judged by whether you lived up to your own potential. So stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Outwork your doubts. Outlearn your ignorance. Outlast your excuses. Because when you compete with yourself, you'll always find a way to win. Thank you